Bendiciones, alafia. You've got to give your enemies something they've never experienced before. You know, that's a very important lesson in life. You've got to give your enemies something they've never experienced before. You've got to give your enemies an out-of-body experience. And this is something that I've learned, through life, especially, being a child of Eshu. You learn war very well. Eshu was a warrior. You learn war very well. And, this is something that I pass on to you all about dealing with enemies, about dealing with bullies. And, when you're able to take it into the spiritual realm, uh, that's when you really shake things up. Handling things carnally, handling things in a physical way. This is things that people have experienced before. I mean, people have gotten into fights in their life and things like that. But when you're able to affect somebody in ways that they've never experienced before, this is when not only do you find the victories, but you find very satisfying victories. As a lot of you might have seen, I recently had a case of this. I recently had a situation uh, where I had to give an enemy something that they never experienced before. And, this individual was actually a very known individual for beefing with other spiritualists. And not only beefing with other spiritualists, being very relentless in how they trolled those other spiritualists, being very relentless and aggressive in how they went after other spiritualists. But when that individual started to get a taste of things that they've never experienced, the energy changed. What was the difference about King Brujo? Because any other person that this individual would beef with, they would put their name in the titles. They put their face all over their social media and do all kind of memeing with the person. But now when it comes to King Brujo, the person hesitating to put my name in the title. The person becomes hesitant to put my face out on a meme. Why is that? Because the individual is experiencing things that they've never experienced before. And this is where you see the cowardice come out, where now all that individual does is do, what do they call? Sneak dissing. Now all that individual does is do subliminals. When I've addressed that individual directly multiple times, this is when you see the coward come out in somebody. When you sit there and you call a person by name and say such and such, this how I feel, and they can turn around and throw subliminal shots. Cowardice. When a person can throw rocks and hide their hand, coward, dishonorable. You see, and it's ironic because even currently, one of the people this person is beefing with is mentally ill. And the person admit that they're mentally ill clinically. And in the midst of me applying that pressure that only King Brujo can apply, This individual throws the subliminals to me, but continues mentioning the name and posting the picture of the mentally ill person all over the internet. This person continues to threaten women and things of that nature on the internet rather than to address the elephant in the room. Okay? And I'm the one that actually has the following. You see, the one that is the mentally ill person only has about 200 subscribers or so and is not known on any other platform. Okay? And this individual that's the bully will say things like, I'm not going to mention your name because I don't want to give it any clout. I got the clout already. What do you mean? I'm viral. I'm bigger than this person that's talking. Literally, when you go on to other networks, you start to see the scope of my reach. And this person knows this. You see, this is the cowardice. Because now when a real challenge come in your face and say, what's up? It becomes, oh, well, that's a childish issue. I know not to play those games with them. You see, this is the reality when you're dealing with your enemies. When you turn the heat up to a certain degree, you will see them cur out and cower, tuck their tail, go back to trying to teach again like everything is normal. This is what you begin to see. They just wanted to all go away. I just wanted to all go away. Because you ran into a real demon. And now you really don't know how to react to that because you never encountered something like this before. Imagine people that first encountered a venomous snake. How did we begin to learn that the snake can kill you? Imagine the person that first discovered a saber-toothed tiger. How did people then begin to distinguish that this animal eats us? Somebody had to get eaten, and they didn't know at first. And this is how a foe will look at you when you give them something they've never experienced before. Wow, I never went through this. This individual that I'm speaking of, he's never went through anything like this in his life. He's never went against a real demon. He's never went against a real true blue Brujo. He's only picked fights that he knows he can win. He's beefed with women consistently. Consistently beef with women. Over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? The Voodoo Diva situation with him, that was the manliest I've seen. Because at least with her husband was involved with it. So you had a man to also go back and forth with. Normally, there's no man a lot of times. And if you do see him beefing with a man, as you see, a mental illness, a meth addict, things like that. Never somebody that can really get at him. And then when somebody get at him, oh, I don't want to put that person's name. No. Now the real fight is here. You a fighter, you a bully. Bang out. See, bullies know who to play these games with and who not to play these games with. They know. They're very calculated in who they go after. And that's why I made it a point to stay on this person's head. Because this is the justice that gets dished out. I stayed on his head to the point where people started feeling sorry for him, to where his current girlfriend feels sorry for him. And that is the experience that you get when you're dealing with somebody like me. Because I learned through life, you have to give your enemy something they've never experienced before. You know, this is a person that, was in the MMA fighting industry and things like that. I mean, physical things, that's things he's been through. Never things like this. When spirit starts to eat away at your personal life and it trickles into the social media life. Dangerous. And this individual knows that. So this individual knows to watch his fucking mouth. This individual knows to tiptoe around my name without saying it. It's what a coward knows. A coward knows how to not get fucked up out here in these streets when you run into a real bully. Big Brujo in this motherfucker, you hear me? And so, family, I give you that anecdote, I give you that story so that you can take from my experiences and be able to further, your life and deal with opposition that comes across or that comes against you. Deal with people. You see, my father always taught me, if you're gonna be a monkey, be a gorilla. That's a saying that came from my grandfather. Before he passed, he would say that a lot. If you're gonna be a monkey, be a gorilla. You're gonna be an ape, be the strongest one. Be the brutal one. Don't just be a monkey for people's entertainment. Be somebody that when you beat your chest, people get out the way. Ah, shit. That's the key. Be somebody that when you beat your chest, people split like the Red Sea. That's what you want to be. Don't be a monkey that just go around for entertainment. Be a gorilla. And, another thing that my father, would often teach me is if you smack one monkey, the rest will fall in line. And that's why when I go up against a bully that's known for being a bully, I like to smack the shit out of them. And I like for everybody to see me slap the shit out of them because I want people to understand what happens when people want to disrespect the king. And that's why I move that way. Because motherfuckers got to learn. And they can learn through somebody else's experience. Their out of body experience, And so, with that being said, family, give your enemies something they've never experienced. Give your enemies something they'll never forget or dabble.